Welcome, and thank you for joining for another whiskey review. Today, we're going to take a look at the Willett Family Estate. Dustin, 52%, 104 proof. Looks like on the back we're looking at 10-year-old Indiana, 10-year-old MGP, and 6-year-old Kentucky straight whiskey.
Rye and bourbon. So we've got, weirdly enough, Willett, Mike, is known for their rye. That's the kind of what's, put them on the map. Everybody gets it. It's out there. But this, for some reason, they decided to use their bourbon and MGP's rye, which is kind of a weird thing to see. But I guess maybe, I don't know if Willett's ever actually put out more than a few 10-year-old rye. So who knows? Interesting thing, but this is actual Willett distillate bourbon. So this is not a sourced bourbon, because Willett's famous for selling sourced bourbons, but a sourced rye. So black top.
Well, that's right, black top. I didn't notice that before.
And Willett, as your buddy Adam always tells us,
great way to say it. Give it to him.
He says, Willett is the Blanton's for actual rich people. Like it's the whiskey people buy who are truly rich, because you have to be to buy it. This one, however, Mike, was actually a fairly affordable, just a little over $100, which isn't terrible when you think about it. For what you're getting here, good proof, not cask strength, and 6-year-old bourbon and a 10-year-old rye. I mean, hell, they want $170 for their 6-year-old bourbons when they release them.
Mm-hmm. Expensive bottles of whiskey, Dustin.
Yeah. But this one, again, this was just a sliver over 100, so not terrible.
Goodbye. Smells nice. A lot of rye.
It's very sweet rye versus spice rye, which is not unusual with MGP, and I assume this is the 95.5 MGP. I don't have any reason to think it's not.
That's a big distinction, but you're absolutely right. The way I said that would make you think it wasn't as pleasant as it was.
Yeah, I mean, and Willett's very Christmas spicy, which I have always enjoyed on their rye. This is not. This is just classic MGP sweetness rye. A little bit of mind you, there are some Christmas spices coming through.
Absolutely,
and a nice little bit of oak coming through. Maybe I'm not even sure what the bourbon's doing in this nose.
And some sweetness would be my guess. That's about all.
I think it's subduing the sweetness, because Willett's actually kind of a less sweet than MGP rye on the nose usually.
Yeah, very inviting. The weather's getting cool outside. Christmas style.
Yeah, this is definitely winter dram.
Smells delicious though.
Yeah, I mean, it really does. It smells great.
Twinge of cinnamon, twinge of clove, just twinge of pine. I was watching the golf tournament. I was watching the guys playing at Augusta, and Tiger Woods got into some pine trees and the dead pine leaves. I imagine there's a little bit of that dead pine leaf at Augusta.
This is Grandma's making apple pie, and it's a cold fall day. It's not winter, it's a cold fall day. The leaves are down, you're outside, and this is just what you're smelling from, like, you're about a football stadium away from the kitchen, but Grandma's making some crazy pies, and they're wafting over your way a little bit.
So Paul's boss said to me on Friday, the Masters was on. He was like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, just doing a few things." Like, "All right, sit down." He's like, "Come to my office when you're done." So I did. He's like, "All right, sit down." And he was streaming the Masters. He's like, "All right, let me tell you about this swing." He's a huge golf fan.
Okay.
And I was just like, "Oh, this could be the next 2 hours of my life."
I've never gotten into golf. Like, one of the guys.
Me neither. He loves it though.
Yeah, one of the guys I work with, one of the analysts on my team, he actually is like one of those guys who actually has gone out and he records his swing to rewatch it and improve.
He had just played there 2 weeks before.
Oh wow.
Yeah, man, it was. Yeah, he's super into it.
Yeah,
spends a ton of money on it.
And then I hear this stuff, and then it's like, I can barely even hit a golf ball. We were going putt stuff, and I'm okay with putt, but if I'm trying to drive, man, I can't do it, and I need to work on my flexibility and stretching.
Those guys were so good. I mean, they had hazards everywhere. These dudes, even a couple of guys got in hazards, they didn't care. They just knocked it right out of that sand, just laid up, and it was just money. Made a long putt. They were so good.
I tell you what, I've lifted too many weights and ate way too much pizza in my lifetime to have a nice golf swing. I need to get rid of both. That stretch that those guys get into, man, that's impressive.
A lot of power. I tell you what, though, when Tiger Woods was in, like I said, in the woods, I was like, you know what? I was imagining myself drinking whiskey with you, actually. And I was like, yeah, next time I pick up pine needles, I'm going to think of this moment. So,
Yeah, you've actually sent me a text once. I'd given you a sample of something. It was like a 25-year-old Scotch. And you're like, yeah, I'm at the golf course. I'm going to cry. I was like, all right. And I'm like, that's actually not a bad place to drink a little whiskey.
it is not. You always bring samples on the golf course.
Those greens are beautiful for like nose and whiskey.
It's a great setting. I brought Glencairns and everything.
And that's exactly what this whiskey would be like.
Taking you there.
End of summer, fall, golf.
On the golf course, living on a golf course. Life's good, for sure.
Yeah.
This is a smell when life's good.
Oh, that's the perfect setting for this. Is you live on a golf course, you're on the patio, and you're just kind of smelling the golf course. But you're not the one actually out there.
Someone here doesn't have to worry about money the rest of their lives. I don't know where he's at, but I'm in the vicinity. It's like a force field. And everything just tastes and smells better. That's what this whiskey tastes like. Aristocratic golf course.
Ooh. Palate's fun here, man. Opens up classic Willett bourbon, which is dry, kind of oily and viscous, but not super sweet. But it has like a nice spice and a nice oak presence. And then it transitions to that MGP rye where you get a little more Christmassy notes, a little bit of red fruit. Oh, man, that is... I got this, I don't know when this one came out, Mike, but it's been more than a year. And I had poured a couple samples for some friends because nobody had ever had this before. And then I went and, drank a good bit of it down, and then I've just left it sitting out there for probably a year plus. Yeah. I mean, it's just been sitting here about just below the halfway mark for over a year. Man, it's coming through beautiful.
Wow.
That's good.
It's like spice. The way it evaporates the flavors on the palate, like spice and then sweetness. Oh, it's vapor at first. Mm-hmm. The arrival and like the linger, it's just dancing. That's a well done whiskey. A lot of good spice. Similar to the palate. I mean, this is a whiskey that noses and tastes very, very, very similar. High on the rye. Nice mint. The mint goes with the spices. Lovely experience. I can't, not quite articulating how well this is put together, how clean of an experience it is, and how just effortlessly it sachets from one flavor to another, especially on the palate and on the finish. Super well done whiskey.
What jumps out to me, Mike, I've done a little of my own personal blending, and I've talked to some people who do blending. I've gotten to meet, some, like, for example, we've met the guys over at Foregate. I've gotten to meet Sherry over at Old Carter. And, I've gotten to just kind of hear a little bit about how they blend. What's shocking to me on this is that Willett's bourbon is very bold, and it's very distinct. MGP's rye is very bold, very distinct. And usually when you mix distinct whiskeys together, you create a third whiskey that is terrible. Like, it is really hard to take two distinct whiskeys and actually get them to work together. And this is a wonderful blend.
Yeah, to get to line up all the pieces correctly. Yeah, it takes a master.
And you're getting the best of both, which, again, that's just... Wow.
Yeah, I mean, as far as putting the flavors together, this fits together like a little net configuration.
Yeah.
You know what that is?
No, I do not.
That's all right. You ever watch Hellraiser movies? This is the puzzle box.
I think I saw, the first one.
There's 2 or 3 puzzle boxes, and one of them's the little net configuration. Anyway, point is, all of these pieces couldn't have gone together any other way. Let me put it in a simpler term to understand. Goldilocks zone. Mm-hmm. Earth is in the Goldilocks zone. If we were 2 degrees this or high or low or left or right, blah, blah, blah. So everything has to come together and just fit just right like that. Multiple things. And this is one of those experiences where everything fits together perfectly.
Yeah.
Like a watchsmith. You're a watch guy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Clock, watchsmith. Man, it's got to be right.
Yep.
To a degree of error that is so minute.
And then once you put that final piece in, all of a sudden it just starts going. And that's what this is doing. That is
perpetual motion of enjoyment.
That's an incredibly well done combination. I don't know that I would put any one note on here as being exceptional. Like, I wish the bourbon note was a little older.
Sure. The mint note's super nice.
Yeah, but I mean, $10-year-old rye is so ubiquitous these days. If you want one, you can pick one up for under $100 from 3 different places.
I'm not saying it's special. What I'm saying is it's well done. It's a nice nice component to this particular whiskey.
Yeah, but the way they put the two together is really nice. Just made for an all around. I've forgotten how good this whiskey is.
It's really well done whiskey. You know, the spices and everything really isn't the first style or two of whiskey that I prefer. Mm-hmm. It's really not the time of year for it either.
It's not the time of year for this.
Even so, you should stop, take notice of what's going on, and for anybody who has had a few whiskeys in their life, I think you'd quickly realize this is a special whiskey.
Yeah, this is definitely more of an advanced drinker kind of option because you're not going to get the level of complexity and nuance and how difficult this was to do. If you've not had a couple hundred bottles to really explore with water, they brought it all together more. I actually kind of preferred it without because I enjoy the overt bourbon notes up front and the overt rye finish. But still really nice. Actually, a lot of people I think are going to like it better with the drop of water because it actually brought it all together nicely.
It melted it, but it was already perfectly spaced to begin with. If that makes that makes sense to anybody. Incredible whiskey. Dustin, whiskey score time. And since this is your bottle, I'll go first. 89. This was about to be my first 90 of the day. It was. Man, for 89, it's a banger of a whiskey. Like, to me, it lessens slightly with a little bit of water. But this is, as far as the structure of the whiskey, A+, gold standard, 90 plus as far as the structure. Maybe I'm selling it short because these aren't my favorite flavors, but even that being the case, I recognize this as a well-crafted, well-known whiskey at a good ABV that has beautiful flavors that sachet well together. Good nose, good finish. Maybe I'm selling it short slightly, but I'm at 89.
Yeah, I was just thinking in my head, when you choose not to go cask strength, but you're over 50, like, why'd you do that? And the reason here is because it was freaking perfect. Neat. And, I know everybody's different, has a little different palate, but that thing, the mouthfeel, the texture, the way it worked, neat, was so damn good. I kind of rolled my eyes and laughed when you said 89 because that was where I was at. And I was sitting there in my head thinking, do I need to bring my score down? Because maybe it's just...
I thought going up. I'm between 80 and a 90.
Well, the reason I was thinking I should go down is come on, really? Willett, this? Come on, is it really that? Am I just being biased?
It's not about the parts. It's about the sum of the parts.
Yeah, and again, I think that's really where the value is perfection in blending that they did here.
Such a good job.
Yeah, I hope they do this again. I haven't seen them re-release this, so I'm hoping this, for your all sake, because I know these are probably gone at this point, but I'm hoping this is something they come back to in the future because this is such a good expression, and I hope they continue with using the MGP rye. But you know what? We did the Kamichi 8-year-old rye. I think we did that.
I'm almost positive we did.
Yeah, that was great. So an old Willett rye would be incredible, but I know the price of that would go up threefold. This was affordable.
Yeah, this is one of the more memorable Willets I've had. We've only done a couple of reviews on Willets, but we had a few. You've had far more than I have.
I've had 17-year-old Willets, purple tops that were over $1,000 retail. This is better.
This is a great whiskey.
Just said it.
Yeah, this is a great whiskey.
Yeah, excellent whiskey. Heck, Mike just went back for a second pour. He never does that. It's such a perfect whiskey when it's just neat. They nailed it.
Anybody who likes the art of blending whiskey together.
Yeah.
This is just a masterclass of the art, in my opinion. Man, sometimes I roll my eyes, or sometimes I think people would roll their eyes and we say, "Oh, you got to have a couple hundred bottles to appreciate something like this." That's not unfounded, man.
You don't need to own them, but you have to have been drinking whiskeys in different ones to grasp what they're doing here.
Right, just how well put together this is, and have enough well put together whiskeys. Mm-hmm. Here's the thing: there's whiskeys that you like the flavor, you like this, you like that. You know what this is? This is a dude you don't even like that plays for a football team like you rooted against. But god damn it, he's tall and fit as a motherfucker and looks like Tom Brady. You know what? You're a winner, and look at you.
Yeah.
Point is, I gotta respect you. Look at the resume.
Or right? You think of this. This is like a Dennis Rodman. So in your head, you're like, first off, he's not a superstar in terms of his scoring and all this other stuff. He does all the little stuff, and when you first watch him, man, he's dirty. He's kind of whatever. You don't want to like him. But then you keep watching, like, man, he does all these things so well. So, like, everybody can appreciate Tom Brady because Tom Brady's just, I mean, he's throwing.
Now, if you lose to him,
you still appreciate the fact that he's a
and
quarterback.
I'm a Bears fan, we lose to everybody.
But the thing is,
did you appreciate something that necessarily you don't gravitate to? You know what I'm saying from a flavor profile?
well, my point is, like, certain things are obvious, like, that are good.
Yeah.
Like, Gronkowski maybe is another good example.
Yeah, this is obvious.
Gronkowski is, yeah, but it's obvious. But the more you know, the better you pick up. Like you see Gronk's numbers, you go, oh, he gets a lot of receptions. But then you start watching Gronk, and
he's such a great blocker.
He's exactly that was exactly where I was going.
Right, like he's like Kelsey in the passing game, but he got this whole other game to him where he's
there you go,
yeah,
and that's where like the nuance you miss. So the more experience you get, the more you pick up on the blocking. Or with Rodman, like you like. Man, he does that one little move where he gets in and how he gets to the offensive
You appreciate
board.
what just happened.
Yeah, the nuance gets there, and that's where the experience comes in here.
This is the Greg Maddux.
You're still going to like this.
Rise.
There you go. Yeah. You're going to like this no matter what, but you're not going to appreciate how difficult it was until you've had a lot of whiskey.
Right. It's not impressive unless you know how hard it is to put these flavors
It's
together.
really good, but then it's like impressive once you realize that was hard.
Well done, Willett, whoever blended this one together. Good job. All right, so we're both in 89 out of 100. Apparently, we've been in whiskey reviews far too long together. Those are our thoughts on this particular Willett family estate. If you guys had a chance to try this one, let us know what you guys think. Is there any other notating mark on this one?
Yeah, this has been the toughest one for me. Is like there's not a clear name. That's why I always just say it's a black top because it's the only bottle they've released with a black top, and usually it's green or purple. So this is the black top. That's how I'm going to describe it forever.
Yeah, I know. We're trying to say it in a better way, but that's all it could come.
Yeah, because when you get the purple tops, they say family estate too. Willett is clearly.
You see what we see.
They're not a marketing company, I guess.
You got what we got.
Yeah.
If you know, you don't know.
Meanwhile, they sell stuff for like thousands of dollars, so they must be good at marketing.
It's boutique. Anyway, those are our thoughts on this particular whiskey. If you guys had a chance to try this one, let us know what you guys think. Dustin, until next time, what do you wish, folks?
Happy blended drinking.
We'll see you next time.